Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today it is the second day of the month of December, which is the month of 10, which is actually the 12th month. And the moon is, I believe, if it's not full, it's almost full. So let me just quickly check. Waxing gibbous, 92%. So yeah, it's almost full. So let's get started with the message that wants to come through today. Those of you looking for an update about our cat, she's fine. She's still continuing to recover. She has, let me just relay these out. So the message, let's see what message wants to come through today. I'm using the Elder Futhark on Carnelian. Message that wants to come through today. Okay. Let's get this laid out. Put the whole thing out, and then we're going to read it. I hope you're well. Cat's great. You know, she's wonderful. She's adorable and very funny. One of the things that we've had to deal with is that she's a very adventuresome cat in terms of she wants to jump up on things, and she's not supposed to be jumping up because she has like major stitches on her belly, and so we really oughtn't to be having her jump up, but she will do that. And like the other night, she's like circling the bed and she's looking, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I ran out and I said to my husband, I said, the cat really wants to jump up on the bed. And we ran back and she was on the bed. So we worked up we have two ramps, two of them at two different points on the bed on the side where she can go up without straining herself. And what does she do? Like day before yesterday, she looks at me, she stands between the ramps and has the audacity to stand between the ramps and jump up from the floor while I'm watching. So this is the kitty in question. So anyway, she's doing well though. She's doing really, really well. She's recovering and very much herself. So, message that wants to come through today. So the central issue is represented by Vunyo reversed. So Vunyo is the rune of the joy, is the joy rune. Vunyo is the rune of joy. Reversed on the central issue spot, I'm going to read this a couple ways. First of all, it's just basically you are dealing with discontentments that you're having at this point. You're also worried about happiness, but at the same time, you are reaching inward and finding joy within. You are seeking that first and foremost within you, which is important because you have to find it there so you can have it manifest outside. Generally, you basically need that access where it's the joy that you can always have access to regardless of what's going on around you. You basically make it yourself. You find that within. Leading up to this, we have Thurizaz reversed. So this says to me, Thurizaz being the thorn, the giant, the gateway, it is the challenge rune, and it is reversed on the pathline, which means you have just come through an incredibly difficult challenge, a challenge that you basically at times thought of as impossible. And here you are on the other side of it, which is amazing. Another thing that you've had to do is there were challenges where you actually had to pass through some thresholds internally, some like mental challenges and some internal psychic and emotional challenges that you had to get through this. You had to actually where it was so difficult on the outside path that the only way through it was turning inward and finding those open doors. And that's how you got here. So you've gotten through the impossible task. It is gotten through. You are on the other side of it. And right now you're like sort of panting and you're like, I'm not comfortable and I'm feeling discontented about things. So, but I'm also looking inward for joy. I'm also seeking my sense of joy within to start with. What's going to help you with that? We have Ounces reversed and we have Avas reversed. So I'm going to read these both several ways. First of all, Ounces reversed. So this is inner communication. It's communication, manifestation, and expression when it's upright. It reversed, it's inner. So we have inner communication, inner manifestation. This is connected with finding your inner joy. So you are going to be working on that inwardly as well. I mean, a lot of this was inward. A lot of this is inward, even though there's some outward discontentments. But finding that inner joy is, you're going to be turning inward. You're going to be having those inner dialogues with whoever. You're going to be having the inner dialogues with yourself, or you're going to be having inner dialogues with guardians, guides, goddesses, gods, ancestors, angels, dragons, or you whatever you have, or you are basically going to be having that inner dialogue, which is going to help with that. And you're also going to be, as far as accessing your inner joy, you're going to be doing some manifesting inwardly. So you're going to be calling up imaginal spaces that are going to be contributing to that. I mean, this is basically like what people talk about, your happy place. So you basically visualize, like, if you love to be on the beach at sunset. So helping you with that, with your joy, accessing that, will be, if you are capable of visualization, to visualize your beach at sunset, kind of thing. If visualization is not your thing, find yourself some like recordings of that, or maybe even some videos of that, and that will help you. But basically finding it within, which is going to help you access that. Outwardly, though, there's also a read on this, which is to allow yourself stillness and quiet, and allow yourself to just basically be silent and to listen, and, you know, get your footing on this new ground that you are on now that you've passed through this challenge. What is going to help you with that is also being calm and still. We have Avaz reversed. So Avaz is the rune of the horse. The horse has to do with movement and also spirit. And so basically the outward read on this is just don't wear yourself out right now. Be still. Allow yourself some stillness. Let yourself rest. Inwardly, though, this is where you're going to be eagerly moving around. This is where you're turning inward to find that inner joy that you're looking for. And so as far as the discontentments are concerned, you're being still, you're being quiet, you're listening. But as far as finding your inner joy is concerned, you're having those inner dialogues, and you are, you know, creating inwardly. And you are also galloping inwardly, letting your spirit, whatever spirit is for you, carry you as you do that within, where you find what you need. What isn't going to help, we have Fehu and we have Othala reversed. Fehu is the only upright rune in this entire reading, which is interesting. So it's an upright rune in the negative spot, which always means a worry about that thing. So leading from the challenge you've just come through, the fact that you're feeling discontented outwardly, but seeking your joy inwardly, there's a sense of you're worried about worth. You're worried about, you know, finding the things that give your life worth and meaning, because you've just come through this and it's over now, but now you're like, what do I do? But you're also like, was it even worth it? What is my value if I got to the end of this and now I'm still feeling discontented about things and I have to go and find my joy? And there's these questions of worth. Now, Fehu is not necessarily money, it's cattle, it's the wealth that you tend. So these are the things that whenever you take care of them, give your life a sense of meaning and value and worth. And these are the things that you're questioning. You're saying, you know, what value do I have if I've got through this huge challenge and I'm not even comfortable right now? What is behind all of that is the fact that you've stepped outside of your comfort zone. You're leaving behind things that no longer served you, and you're just basically worried about finding a new sense of home within, which is what you're working on up here. We have Othala reversed, which is the rune of the home and the homeland, and that's the usual 3 reads on the negative of it, on the reversal of it. Not negative, but on the reversal of it is that. So you're basically feeling like you're no longer where you were comfortable before, over here, but you had to go through this, and now you're here and you're sort of missing what was home for you before you did this, but you can't go back to that because you've been through too much and things are very different now, and you're bigger. You wouldn't fit. You wouldn't fit where you were before now. So basically these are the things. So you're worried about that because that's what's basically behind the worries about value and the worries about worth and, you know, what did I even do it all for, is the fact that you no longer have that specific security that you felt like you had before you did this challenge, that sense of solace, that sense of sanctuary, and that's gone now because you can't use it anymore, and you're outside of your comfort zone at this point. You have to remake, you know, what you. Why is this going down? You have to remake a sense of comfort, a sense of solace, a sense of sanctuary, and that's what you're doing now. You're accessing your deep inner joy, and you are having those inner dialogues to sort of manifest those internal spaces that are going to help you feel that joy, and letting your spirit carry you within to find these things, because there's definitely going to be more than one thing that you can sort of cycle through. So either way, you've been through a challenge. Right now you're sort of panting on the other side of it, and you're like, I'm not really comfortable yet. What was it worth if I did that? And I don't even have my comfort zone anymore. If that starts to be the case, bring yourself back up to where you are finding this within. Right now, you're sort of letting yourself be still on the outside, and you're letting yourself be quiet on the outside, and that's helping, and listening, basically. But internally, you're manifesting, you're having dialogues with yourself and your inner support staff. Well, your inner access support staff. I mean, they're around you. And you are letting your spirit carry you within to find the things that you need to reconnect you with your inner joy. What this is all going to lead you to is we have Tivaz reversed. Tivaz is Tears Rune. It's Tuesday. It's Tears Day. And Tivaz is Tyr, and Tyr is the warrior god, and he has to do with tending to duties and responsibilities and taking care of things that need to be taken care of. Reversed, we basically turn this inward. So make it your quest at this point, like the next step. Right now you're basically you're re-accessing your inner joy, and that's the important thing to do right now. But your next step after you do that is, okay, let's make things comfortable for ourselves. Let's create our new comfort zone. And you're going to do that by, first of all, making it a quest, because if you make it a quest, then it's something that you're interested in, and it's something that you're compelled to do because you're excited about it. Secondly, you're going to be tending to the duties and responsibilities that you have to yourself. So take care of the basics, basically. At least start with that. The things that are going to basically make you feel comfortable where you are. And third, doing what you need to do, taking care of what needs to be taken care of. And that's really going to be your foundation. You've already reconnected with your inner joy. That was key. You couldn't have done this until you did that. But once you've done that, your next step is just basically to take care of the basics, the foundational stuff. And on you go from there, because that'll lay the foundation. So that is the message that wanted to come through today. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.